This your main man, D. Lee. I want to welcome y'all to the first episode of the Art of Transformation. On today's episode, we have the honor of introducing you to a guy who's been a blessing to me and many others. Many know him as Grip, others know him as R7. He's taken the time out to come and tell us about his new YouTube channel and to give us knowledge and information and wisdom. So without further ado, I would like to introduce y'all to Mr. Grip. What's up, brother? How
What's
you
going
doing?
on, bro?
We
Shit,
got
cool.
here. We made it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Man, I want to thank you, and I personally know you like to invest your time in the studying and reaching greater heights. So for the viewers and listeners that's out there that doesn't know you, could you give us a brief description about you and what this journey that you're on?
Well, I'm from Thompson. I was born in Augusta, and I grew up back and forth. But I've been into spiritual things ever since a kid. I grew up with my grandparents or whatever, and they had me in church all the time, and then I got introduced to the streets, and once I got introduced to the streets, that led me to going to jail, and once I went to jail for the first time. I went to jail for the first time. I started studying Islam, and I didn't do it but like 6 months. And once I came home, that sparked the idea like, I just want to see what's going on. And so once I had learned a lot in Islam and questions that I had wasn't getting answered or whatever, so I started searching for more. So I started studying the Nuwabians and Dr. Malachi York, and then Dr. Layla Africa. I started studying, that and the health, and Dr. Sebi and all them. So I ended up getting in trouble again, and I caught a 10-year bid this time. So once I caught my 10-year bid, one of my homeboys was trying to tell me basically what to expect and how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. He like, man, make sure you study everything you can study. So when you come out, you know what I'm saying, you'll be still on point and be able, get your life together or whatever. So he said the first book you need to get though is the Book of Chakras. So I always be picking that in some time because most people pronounce it chakras. You know what I'm saying? Like I did find that book though. And then I got once I got in the system or whatever, I started studying. I joined Nation of Gods and Earth with Clarence 13X. And once I started that, that took me everywhere. I studied the Hebrew Israelites and basically like astro traveling and got into neuroscience and all that kind of stuff and Reiki healing and all that information was being passed around in the system. So that's what I ended up doing with my time. And once I came home, I got introduced to Bobby Hemming, and I was able because social media wasn't going on when I ended up getting locked up. So once I came home, I just ended up getting into Bobby Hemming, Brother Panic, Dr. Phil Valentine's, and so I took some occult classes, and I took some of their classes, all of them, and I took a couple of Reiki classes and got a few certificates on herbalism and stuff like that. So that's what got me where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just a lot of people that know me. I always been an inspiration and a influence to those kind of people, and a lot of people do come from me for a lot of like just personal issues or just things about life or how to figure things out or advice. So they've been trying to force me since I've been home to pretty much put myself out there or you know uh start helping more people and actually the stuff that I normally do, like putting together little concoctions and juices or little spiritual systems or little meditations and stuff. So I've been doing that just for my family and the people that I know. So they've been pushing me and pushing me to push myself out there. So I was like, man, here I am. So
We're glad to have you. So the art of transformation to me would be about growth and change. And to you, is the art of transformation? And tell the viewers out there what basically your channel would be about.
okay, well, you know, we always growing. You get what I'm saying? So the arts is pretty much anything that you can use that can actually transform you from one state of being to another. So that's how I came up with the actual title, because I was trying to, come up with something like that can that so I can talk on like a broader level, because it's a way of life for me. So it's just, health, all this stuff got to do with spirituality and, the way you grew up, the environment, because, our environment produces our thoughts. So most of the time we can't change when we in our environment because we are caught up in it and we can't see it when you're caught up in it. So you have to take yourself outside of the environment in order to be able to see it. Because for me, like I used to sell drugs or whatever. So I had a affirmation that I used to say all the time. And most people in the streets actually said, like, this is all I know. You know what I'm saying? Streets is all I know. You know what I'm saying? So you end up convincing yourself and believing that that's all you know. And then even when I was trying and I was out there on the street and I was like trying to like do other things, like get into real estate or try to do something else. Like I got all this money, but I don't know what to do with it besides put it into a car. You get what I'm saying? Because I told you it wasn't no social media or nothing like that. So all you can think is in this environment. So when I got to prison and started talking to the psychologists and taking the drug programs, they asked me a question. They said, man, you so smart, man. Why did you sell drugs? Like, how you end up in prison? Why you ain't just do something different like you had money? And I couldn't answer that question. I was like, shit, selling drugs was all I knew. And studying and being in that kind of environment that I was, like in federal prison, is like it's kind of like a university, to be honest with you. And I don't want to try to, make that a place that kids or somebody don't want to go, but you know what I'm saying? Like you only can have that perspective if you want better for yourself. You get what I'm saying? So it was basically what I'm saying is it was a lot of information that was available to me in prison that wasn't available to me on the street. So basically, like being in there, I was able to study my environment from a different environment. You get what I'm saying? And I was actually able to experience, like, damn, like when you out there in them streets and you actually living that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't even think clearly. Like you can't even think outside of that shit. So somebody asks you a simple question like, why you ain't do nothing else? Or why you ain't just invest all that money into something that was gonna pay off or something that, and it's like you sitting there like, shit, I don't got the answer. Cause you done told yourself, you done convinced yourself that selling drugs is all you know because you seen your uncles do it, or you seen the neighborhood guy that had the car and the girls following him or whatever. You seen him do it. So you actually just like you get a chance. If people don't take the time to actually get involved with their kids or with people in the environment to actually try to introduce them to something else, then all those kids are gonna know is what that environment done produce for them. You know what I'm saying? And then you can see like even with social media, they got the algorithm and they kind of like whatever you are already into, it pretty much just gonna send you more of what you into. It ain't even gonna really introduce you to nothing else. And if it do, it's just gonna be one video that you'll probably slip through. So it's still gonna keep you in the same mindset. You get what I'm saying? So the main thing that you got to have in life, period, is the willingness to want to do that. And I think that came from like my uncle. He was on drugs and stuff too, but my uncle always kept a book. You know what I'm saying? Like he always liked to read books or whatever. And my mom was pretty smart too. She been on drugs too. You know what I'm saying? But my mom was pretty smart, and she went to like Curb Business College. So I as a kid, I would give them the credit for you know my willingness to want to read books and stuff like that, because I did see them doing that as a child. You know what I'm saying? But I always had a willingness to like read and stuff like that. So I always try to pass that down to other people, or at least create that opportunity in my environment that I'm in, or an environment that I see my kids in, so that, you know what I'm saying, they don't got that same mindset. This is all I know. This is all I know. Cause, you know, most of us in our community, our people just working. Like if you go look at where I'm from, like in Thompson and stuff like that, like most people are just, you always comes to hear people, they work at Shaw. And then they kids end up working at Shaw. They dad at work at Shaw. They granddad at work at Shaw. You get what I'm saying? And you're never able to think outside of like, instead of working for Shaw, why can't I go create my own Shaw? Or how to create, you get what I'm saying? And that's just not the mindset of the environment. You get what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. I come from a small town. I come from that right there, and I always been in spirituality. That's what most people know me as. You know what I'm saying? But the youngsters are word of mouth to the kids. They might just be like, they know me as my success in the streets. Or Grip was a drug dealer. Woo, woo, woo. And even in my heart, like as a drug dealer, like I never feel like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I always felt like, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't me. I ain't do all that clubbing and stuff. Like I was always trying to get up out of there, but I just didn't actually have anything around me that could show me how to get up out of there. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm here, you know what I'm saying, to try to push myself out there along with the people that's around me that been trying to get me to push myself out there. But that's why I'm here, because I want to be able to, you know what I'm saying, take my experience and transform it into a positive experience. You get what I'm saying? So that's where all that come from, brother.
By that being said, brother, I want to thank you. But my next question I have for you is, what advice do you have for people who want to start out their spiritual journey? What advice do you have for them?
I would say people that's actually starting out their journey, I think the best thing that you should start with is what I told you my homeboy gave me, the chakras. Broderick Wallace, shout out to Broderick, man. But the book on chakras, because your chakra system is where all your traumas is stored in your body. You know what I'm saying? Is where your personality is stored. It's the stores, you know what I'm saying, of the body. And even for people that don't know, like for it's lifetimes of trauma and stuff stored in there. You get what I'm saying? So to actually start off, you need to get to know yourself and know. So get you a book on the chakra system, get you a book on the mind or the subconscious mind, so that you can actually get a feel of what you're actually doing, because that's what you're transforming. You know what I'm saying? You're transforming the mind, the spirit body, and that's what you're going to use to tap you in, to travel to different dimensions, or to talk to your ancestors or whatever like that. So I would say, to start off, the best thing to do is start studying the chakra system and things of that nature. Because that's how they know that. That's how they controlling this stuff. That's how they keeping you inside the environment. You know what I'm saying? That's how they doing it. That's everything, advertisement, marketing, all that stuff. It plays on your chakras. It plays on your chakras, bro. All that colors, it cause you to do certain things. It cause you to think a certain way. It cause you to be in a certain frequency. So I would say, to get started is to basically understand your chakra system, and get your behavior under control, so that you can understand, because that's what you transform for the most part. Because all that's gonna have an effect when you do actually get in these different worlds and start traveling and start seeing that this shit is an illusion. You know what I'm saying? You are gonna, if you haven't dealt with that trauma, or if you haven't dealt with a certain behavior that you got, you know what I'm saying, then when you get to talking in spirit, it how can I explain this? If you haven't dealt with your energy system, right, or your chakra system, and you got fear in you, you know what I'm saying, and you're very fearful, and most of the time that comes out as anger. That's why so many kids out here killing and stuff like that. Like it's really fear and guilt and all that. So if you haven't dealt with that, or know how to deal with the root cause of what that is, or understand your chakra system, then when you start talking to spirits, you're gonna be fearful. You're gonna be you get what I'm saying? So you still ain't gonna be able to understand what they're trying to communicate to you because of you don't have your emotions in check. So that's what I would say to that, bro.
Man, I want to say thank you,
Oh, no problem, man. I want to say thank you.
for coming and dropping them gems that you always did for me.
Oh yeah, no problem, man.
So for people who want to follow you and continue to learn more about this information that you got dealing with what you do, how do they follow you?
Well, I'm Grip Grissom on Facebook and Instagram with two P's, GRIPP, Grip Grissom, GRISSON. That's on Facebook and Instagram. And I also have Artz of Transformation on Instagram. So you can follow my Artz of Transformation page. I don't have a lot of info out there right now, but I'm starting to add it as we go because I'm working on curriculums and a whole bunch of stuff that I'm actually putting together to actually help, kids, people, anybody that's into this kind of stuff to try to help them get on the journey because it's really just a way of life, and we really need to start getting away from religion and start being able to teach our kids the truth and so that they can be inspired to want to do something else. Because if you don't have this right, man, this is what the mind is all. You get what I'm saying? So if you don't understand what this is and how to use it, you just gonna be damned by it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's because it's being used. Trust me, and it's manifesting right now. Like, but you're not the one that's doing it. You the one that's hurt, guilt, sad, confused, all this. But the person that got you is somebody behind the goddamn walls that understand all this stuff, all your chakras and all this stuff, and they actually sitting back there just being the puppet master, and you have no idea, man. And that's how I was when I was in that environment. That's how I was. No idea because all of us in it, they show you. Look at the movie that just came out, Clone Tyrone. Like they show you all the time and stuff like that, like in the movies. Like you see how he kept doing the same thing over and over, pour the beer, come out the store, pour the beer cup. You get what I'm saying? That's the environment. And you get to thinking that that's who you are. Because we define ourselves by the environment when you ain't been properly educated on how to actually get out of there. And you know what I'm saying? And think about it like this, bro. Like a baby that's in an environment, all they know is what they've been taught. You get what I'm saying? You don't even make up your own name. Somebody give you your own name, bro. You get what I'm saying? So you grow up like, man, I'm Grip. I'm Antonio. I'm Antonio. That's my name. So you like, I'm Antonio. So then you know what I'm saying? You grow up and then you start meeting your friends and stuff, and then you start getting your attribute. Oh, hey, we're gonna call you Grip, or we're gonna call you, little pistol starter, or you depending on what they see you do. You feel me? So, hey, why define yourself as that when you can define yourself as the highest, which is, hey, I'm God. I'm the creator. You get what I'm saying? And then you have people around you that don't even understand it when you say that you ain't God. You ain't God. Well, what is God? What is it? What is it? You get what I'm saying? Because your definition is gonna be different from this person. This person gonna call it that, call it that. It's all this stuff, all this confusion. You get what I'm saying? But the problem is no one knows how to think for themselves. And even when they telling you something, they don't even know how to evaluate their own thoughts and what they saying out their mouth. So they'll just say shit that they've been programmed to say. I'm a real nigga. What's a real nigga? Because from the book definition, you know what I'm saying, a nigga is that. And then from the unwritten definition that you hear in the streets, most people consider a real nigga as a nigga that won't change on you. You know what I'm saying? A nigga that stays the same. That's dead. That's ignorance. You got to change. Nigga, it's impossible not to. Nigga, your body is changing day by day. You ain't the same kid. Everything is dying already. You get what I'm saying? That's the only thing that's real in the universe is change. You get what I'm saying? But you don't if don't nobody train you how to use your mind and you don't stimulate that, most people never read a book. I ain't read a book since high school, man. You get what I'm saying? Like for real. I actually asked this question to my friends and stuff when last time they actually read a book. You know what I'm saying? And some of them are still like, man, I can't read. I just can't. You get what I'm saying? So we do stuff. You gotta think every addiction. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I studied the addiction too when I was in there because that's what my environment. That's what my mom was on, and then I'm a victim of. You know what I'm saying? Being any addiction, like when you're addicted to something, anybody that's tied to you, bro, is gonna affect them. It's gonna affect them. It's like they're addicted too. Just loving you is gonna take them through some things. You get what I'm saying? So most people are addicted to something because they're trying to medicate them emotions. They don't want to feel. You know what I'm saying? That's what's wrong with. We don't want to feel nothing. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to deal with it. You don't want to go through it. You don't want everybody aggravated, frustrated. That's the imbalance in the chakra system. You get what I'm saying? So it's easy for us because we carrying so much trauma with us as a melanated people anyway. We carrying so much trauma with us from different lifetimes and stuff like that. So when you got so much trauma like that, it's easy for you to get addicted to something. You get what I'm saying? So we prone to it. You know what I mean? So you really have to take the time to actually study what is that and what's going on and why. Because most people really are running from something. If you ask them like, why you do that? Why? But if you take yourself off that or away from it and deal with the frustration that come up, the fear that come up, the guilt that come up, all that's gonna come up because that's the stuff you've been trying to suppress. The reason why you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why if you pay attention to like most people that smoke cocaine, do crack cocaine, like most of those people are running away from responsibility. They didn't raise their kids. They mother had to raise them, and things of that nature. So you know what I'm saying? They get high, not they have to deal with actually you wasn't there for your kids because there's a certain feeling that comes along with that. It's guilt. Is you get what I'm saying? So it's just a lot, man. And if people just stay tuned to my channel, you know what I'm saying, and Artz of Transformation YouTube channel, you know what I'm saying. And, we're gonna get into this stuff. We're gonna actually have people that come on that's skilled in certain areas to talk. I'm actually show you how I do what I do. Altars and crystals and just different things to actually transform you or help you transform. You know what I'm saying? And shit, we're gonna see where it goes.
Well, man, you have been a blessing to me, and I just want to personally thank you, for the time that you invested in me. And for y'all viewers and y'all listeners out there, this guy got some valuable information out there for you.